Hello there, and welcome to the AdvancedMD patient portal account for MindBody Co-op. For the purposes of this demo, we will be using a test account under the name of Johnny Appleseed. And as you see here, if we come to the middle section of this profile page, or the default home page of the patient portal account, you will see the patient's name listed here, the date of birth, and the current address we have on file. So, if this was your account, you would see your name, date of birth, and address information listed here. To the right, you would see any pending balance for your account, as well as the next upcoming appointment, if it has been scheduled, as well as the most recent appointment would be listed here as well. To the right of that, you would see any reminders that a provider may have provided to you or assigned to you for completion by a certain due date, or if it's a reminder to schedule an upcoming appointment, you might see that information listed here as well. Now, if we scroll down to the bottom, you'll see a few different options down here that can be selected. So ask a question. That will be any questions that you may want to ask or send a message to a provider for asking a question such as scheduling an appointment. If there's any questions about medication or anything that may need further review, you could certainly ask that question here. Or if there were any questions you had for the administrative team or a billing team member, you could also select ask a question and it would take you to that messaging function, which we'll talk through in more detail in a little bit as well. If we move to the right for request appointments, that will be any appointments that you'd like to schedule through our online scheduling tool. If there's any prescriptions that need to be refilled, you can select this option here and it will take you to that screen to go through that process. If there's any billing needs that you may need to address or that you may have questions about, you can select this option here to pay an online bill, or conversely, if you wanted to take a look at your billing records, you could select that option here and it would display that information for you. For view records, so this will be any particular information that either a provider has uploaded into your account for you to be able to review, or any particular records that are available that you would like to be able to download or take a look at. You could come to view records here, and that would be where you would access that information. And to the right, you will see patient forms. So this will be any forms that may need to be completed, such as consent forms, intake forms, or it could be particular forms that a provider has assigned to you along the way that may need to be completed, such as a release of information. If you select this option, it will take you to that section where you can access those forms to be completed. Similarly, if we revert our view up to the top here, you'll see similar buttons up here, and many of them correspond to the options down below as well. So profile, that will be our home page that we're on currently. Appointments, similarly to request appointments, very much will take you to the same location. Messages, which I will speak to in a moment, but that corresponds with ask a question. Bills with pay my bill. Prescriptions with request refills. Forms with patient forms, and records with view records. So as you can see, there are a few different, or there's multiple places you can go or click to get to that same end location. Both will take you to that same spot, just a matter of preference or ease of workflow. Now if we go up to the top here and we focus in on selecting these buttons to continue our demo here, if we click appointments, there will be a consent to agree to, and if we select I agree, you can then go through the options here where it says reason for visit to select any type of appointment that you'd like to make, provided it is an option within the online scheduling tool. So for example, if we wanted to schedule a follow-up appointment for medication management or with a psychiatric nurse practitioner, we would select this option or this appointment type, select the provider type, and as you continue along down the way, different options or different menu options will appear that you can select to then enter your information, and if we click show available times, it will display all the providers that are available that match the selections or the parameters of your selection. Similarly, if you wanted to check history, you would see the full list of your history of appointments listed here, in case you're curious about when the most recent appointment was, or if there's any billing questions you have on about a particular date, you can come back and look at that history of appointments listed here. So next, we will walk through the messaging tool within the patient portal account. So if we click Messages to the right, you'll see it refresh automatically to display all the messages currently available in your inbox. You can change the filtering in terms of how recent you want to view the messages. So currently I have it on the last 30 days, so you're just seeing these 5 messages here. But if I were to change the filtering, it would then pull up all these 11 messages that are showing currently unread or needing attention. Now, you can click any of these hyperlinks here for each particular message, and if we click that, it will bring us to the message itself. So you can see the information listed in here, and if there's any sort of follow-up needed, or if it's any particular information that you want to keep down, this will be where you'll grab that information. Let's say we wanted to reply to it. You'll see this reply button here. So if we type this here, click send, you'll see a message here saying your message has been sent. And then you can click home to come back to the profile page, or inbox to bring you back to the inbox of your messaging tool. Now, let's say you've responded to a message and you're all set. You can click this X and it will delete the message altogether. Or if you wanted to reply again or needed to reply to any other messages, you can click this arrow here and it will bring you to that message and open up a field for replying directly to that message. If you wanted to review any sent messages, click this button here and it will show you when you sent that message and who you sent it to, whether that was to a provider or a particular admin or administrative team member. And let's say you wanted to write a brand new message altogether. So you could click Ask a Question, and it will bring you to the, almost as though it's like a brand new email or a brand new message that you're going to send. Now, you'll see different options here of subject, patient, and message. So for subject, you'll see these different options here. For general Q&A, that's going to be for any administrative-based questions that you have or just any sort of curious or general questions that you might have. Billing and payments, any messages that you have that are directly related or directly for the billing team, this would be the option that you would select. Patient health information, anything that might need to be updated in your account, you could select this option and it'll come to the proper team members to then update your information, such as your address or date of birth, anything that may need to be addressed. And then the last option here is this Ask Physician or Provider Directly option. So if we select that, you'll see additional options became available with this physician option. So if we click this, you will see the drop-down menu of all the providers that you can directly message within the patient portal. So if we wanted to send a message to Dr. Kelly Rice, we could select this here, type the message, and click Send Message, and it'll go directly to Dr. Rice's account within AdvancedMD. Conversely, if you wanted to send a message to a provider and you don't currently see their name listed here, our best recommendation would be to come back to the subject option here and change it to the general Q&A and type the message saying this is a message for that provider that's not listed. Can you please pass this along to them? And then you can list that message here and click Send Message. Or you could send a message saying, I'm hoping to send a message to XYZ provider that's not currently listed. Can you please have them get in touch with me? And when you click Send, that'll go to our administrative team, and we can then take that and send it to that direct provider to then directly get in touch with you. So that is the messaging tool. And similarly, just to show you the connection between these two options, if we come back to the profile or homepage and we were to click Ask a Question instead down here, it will bring you to this section here. So we were in Messages, Ask a Question. You can see brought you to that same location. Just another option to get you to ultimately to that same place of asking a question for a provider or an administrative team member. Now from a billing perspective, you select here. You can see any type of balance, any type of history that would be applicable, and that would be listed here. Any prescriptions that might need to be addressed, or anything that might need to be refilled. If that was the case, you would see that prescription listed here, and you could select it and then go through that process of requesting that refill via your provider. Now, the next section we'll look at is the forms section. So if we come here, you'll see all the forms here that might need to be completed, such as consent or intake forms, or any other form that a provider may have provided or assigned to you along the way. So you would see, if you were to click Start rather, it would then open up that form and it would take you through the steps to complete it and then submit it, and then it would go right to our administrative team to be added to your account accordingly. And then if we come to records, you will see these different options listed here of allergies, education, vaccines, and docs and images. Now allergies, it's going to be any allergies we have on file for you. If anything new were to pop up that you wanted to have updated within your account, you would just let your provider know and then they can update that accordingly so it is reflected in the patient portal. Education is going to be any documents or perhaps podcasts or worksheets that a client or a provider may assign to a client or assign to you to be completed from one session to the next or between sessions over time. Any of that information would be listed in here for you to access both once it's been assigned as well as for easy access moving forward as well if there's anything you'd like to come back to take a look at or to listen to. Vaccines, any vaccines that are on file for your account. And from there, we could certainly update that along the way should any other vaccines become available. And for docs and images. Now, docs and images, this is going to be the spot where if a provider were to upload information or a document rather that they would like you to be able to access in the future, such as certain medical records or certain documentation, such as it could be a worksheet similar to patient education. They may upload that here for access as well. Anything that a provider would like you to have access to at any point, this is where they would upload that information. So if we click Docs and Images, you will see any of that information here. And if we click here, you will see the document that has been uploaded. This is just a test document here, so we have our MindBody Co-op logo. But similar to in a PDF document, you could come and print it directly from here, or you could download it, and it would download to your computer, whether to your desktop or a particular folder, similar to any other document that you might download from another source. You can do that here, as well as zoom in or zoom out as needed. So if we come back to the profile on the home page, just like we saw up here with forms and records, or rather we saw with messages and ask a question, you can come down here as well and click View Records. It will bring you to these same options, Docs and Images, and it will bring you to the information or the documentation that has been uploaded. Now in the patient portal, there's also a few other options that you can come to, or a few other sections you can come to where you can customize certain features of your account, such as in profile settings or messaging preferences. You can also come and go to Upload Documents, and that will be where you can upload documents to the extent of uploading copies of your insurance card or perhaps a photo of your driver's license or an ID card if that was ever needed. If there is a family member that you would like to have linked to your account, you can come to Request a Family Member, enter in that message here and send it, and it'll go to our administrative team to have that information updated properly. But if this was an account, or you're a parent or guardian of several family members that are a patient or that are patients at the practice, when coming to the messaging tool here and asking a question, where it says patient, you would see multiple options there where you can select the particular patient that this question is in relation to. So if it was a son or a daughter and you wanted to send a message specifically about the daughter to a particular provider, you could send that message here with that daughter's name listed and click send, and it would go out in that format. And that is the patient portal. So please feel free to reach out to your provider or providers directly if there's any questions, or feel free to reach out to the admin team as we can certainly assist in that process as well. Thanks so much.